G'day everyone. Thought I'd pop in this morning and have a chat with you about the upcoming Panasonic full-frame mirrorless announcement. It's actually quite an exciting time, but the things that we still have to wait and see yet, because it's not being a full announcement, it's just been like a sneak peek of what we could expect. But I think overall it seems to be like they're going to be really quite good cameras. And I thought we'd sort of look over them. So if you're looking over here, they're saying that there's going to be two models. There's going to be the SR1 and the S1. The SR1R is a 47 megapixel camera and the S1 is a 24 megapixel camera. Now I'm looking at the design, and I think the design, if you're looking at it, is very, very close to a G9. Let me just move this down for a second. It's very close to what the G9 looks like, and I think that's how they've based their camera on that sort of feel and look and ergonomics. I think if you've used the G9, and I have before, it does feel really great in your hand. And I think basically they've looked at it from that regard and sort of taken it from that design aspect. Now, I know myself personally, I've used the G9 and it is incredibly fast. The focus is incredibly fast. It's actually a really good stills camera. It's like the Panasonic version of the A9, very, very quick in focusing, a great stills camera, really good, great stills camera. So if they can move that over to these full frame cameras, I'm sure that they'll be amazing. Now, looking at the specs here, they're actually saying that the SR1 is going to be, I think this is going to be more the stills camera, and that's, I think, where they'll be targeting that one. You can see here that they're saying the S1 is going to be for the hybrid shooter, so it's going to be a mix of stills and video, the same as what the A7 III is. And that's where I think that one will be targeted at. They're both saying they're going to be 4K 60p, fast and accurate AF, dual IS, robust design, large high-resolution sensor. It's got double slots, which is QXD and SD, and a 3-axis tiltable screen, 100% sealing and weather resistance. And I'm going to go through these in a minute, but there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you here about. The dual IS is incredible, and if you've used a GH5, it really is marvelous once you do that. I used to always use monopods, and when I was using the GH5, I could literally hold that in my hand. The stabilization is that rock solid. There's just nothing like that out there. So if they can get a similar feel to the IS with full frame, it really is going to be an incredible camera, and I'm really excited about that aspect of that camera as well. It's saying it's got a robust high precision high speed shutter, so I'm hoping, I suppose, that it'll be around about 10 frames per second. If they can sort of match that A7 III, that's a really great thing. It's going to have a large resolution sensor. Now, I know the G9 has a great sensor, so if they can match that type of quality there, also the Leica, I think, has around about a 4 million megapixel EVF. So if they can get something like that or a little bit higher, it's going to be great for that as well. 100% weather sealing we're going to look at in a minute, and I will talk about some downsides near the end as well. But let me just skip back to here. So at this stage, it looks like the SR1 is going to be the stills, the S1 is going to be the hybrid one. I think you'll still have 4K on both of these cameras. I'm just not sure whether there'll be a crop associated with that massive megapixel camera, but we're going to have to wait and see. The dual QXD slots are fantastic, and that says to me that they're going to have probably quite a high data rate here. There has to be a reason why they want to use QXD as well as SD, and if it's anything like the GH5, you can do video onto both cards at the same time, so that's also a great thing. And if you didn't want to obviously pay for the QXD, well, you could use the SD card slots if you're comfortable using one slot. I'm not, but you would have that option if you wanted to. I think that's a perfect mix, actually, having QXD and XD. It gives you that performance if you need it, and you've also got the backup as well if you need that as well. Let's go to the next one over here, where it's talking about, now this is one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about. It's saying that it's going to have DFD technology, so it's only contrast detection. Now, whether they're going to be able to improve that enough. Look, if you're dealing with stills, the GH5, I never had a problem with stills. The autofocus was really fast. I mean, incredibly fast, and it always locked on beautifully, never missed anything. It was only when you went to the video side that it actually did start to struggle, particularly in tracking. The G9 is way ahead of what the GH5 is for stills, and that the autofocus in that is incredible. It's very similar to what my A9 has. So if they can incorporate that technology into the still side of these shooting with these cameras are going to be amazing. I'm just not convinced, because they haven't got phase detection on these chips, that it's going to be that good if it is using the same technology. But we're a fair way down the track, and they're saying they're going to have this artificial intelligence to help in that scenario as well. So it could be interesting if they're going to be able to improve it. They're saying it uses this deep learning AI to give better autofocus. So that remains to be seen at this stage, but we have to give Panasonic the benefit of the doubt until this is released, because it may be amazing. Like I said, if in the G9 for stills particularly, the autofocus is outstanding. I'd say the sensor in this camera is the Panasonic one, probably designed by Tower Jazz, and I think that seems to be like it's a really good sensor, so that's another exciting thing. They are doing their own sensors in-house, so that will also be a great thing. They're saying highest resolution finder, like I'm saying if it's similar to the Leica one, and the G9 also has a great EVF as well. Let's go on to the next page. So one camera is a 47 megapixel camera. And it also does a 24 megapixel on the second camera. It's saying it's got the new Venus engine, high quality lenses with L-mount 4K 60p. There's not much to see on that slide, so let's go on to the next one. Now, like I said, the handling I think looks very similar to what the G9 is, and like I said, that's great in your hand. It really is nice. It looks like the grip is really nice as well. Very good dials and things like that. So I think the control side of the camera is going to be really good. Weather sealing is one thing particularly that I was amazed at with the GH5. The GH5 had incredible weather sealing. I did use it outside a lot in really bad weather, and it never ever let me down. And that's one of the things where I did feel a little bit more nervous with my Sony gear as against what the Panasonic gear is. The weather sealing is outstanding, and obviously they're going to follow that up into this camera as well. So that is going to be a great feature, obviously, with this camera, that will be fully weather sealed and resistant to low temperatures. I mean, I've used it up in the snow, things like that. So it's actually great. The shutter, they're saying, is going to be incredible as well. Extremely robust shutter. They haven't said what obviously that shutter count is going to be at this stage, but I know if it's anything like what the GH5 was in the weather sealing, it's going to be fantastic. Lenses, they're going to be releasing 3 lenses at startup. There's a fast prime here, which is a 51.4. Let me just see if I can move myself. There is a standard zoom, which is 24-105. I think that's probably going to be an f4, but we don't know that yet. But it probably will be. It might even be a variable aperture lens, and a telephoto 70-200 as well. So at least they are releasing those 3 lenses right from the beginning. But the beauty of this whole system is that you're going to be able to use the Lumix lenses, obviously, that are going to be coming out. And they're going to say they're going to have 10 optimized lenses within 1 year from the launch. You can also use the 8 Leica lenses. Now, the Leica lenses are very, very expensive, but you can use them straight away, which is one of the benefits of this. But one of the great things is the way that you can use Sigma. So Sigma have teamed up with Lumix to basically share their mount. So these lenses will run natively on the Lumix cameras. Now, they probably will have to design them like they have with Sony, or they'll release an adapter which will fit on. Now, because they don't have to basically develop this, they can work in tandem with Lumix. The lenses should work really great on that system because there's no reverse engineering that's actually required at the time. So lenses I don't think are going to be an issue, and I think Sigma have said that they're going to have those lenses released within 2019, so you're not going to have to wait. So at this stage it looks like the release at this stage, they're not giving us too much to go by in what the data is, what the 4K video is. Probably more than likely it will have 4K 60p that will have no crop at 30p, but we still have to wait and see. We can't say that's for sure at this stage. It looks like it's going to be, there's more information going to be announced early in 2019, and then obviously it would be a period of time after that. A couple of things that I'm not sure about. They're saying it's a tiltable screen. Now, hopefully what they're giving us is the ability to like fold it forward. If that's what they give us with that camera, I'd be more than happy with that. At least you can see that from the front, and most photographers particularly would be happy, because some photographers don't want a fully articulating screen. So if they do give us just that with a 3-axis tilting screen that they're talking about, that would be still okay. It's a pity, personally, in the video one that they haven't got a fully articulating screen, but as long as they give us that fully fold-up one, I think that's fine. And I'd be quite happy with that. Things we've got to wait on is the focusing, obviously. It's a pity they couldn't put phase detect onto this, and that's obviously because this is a Panasonic design sensor. They just haven't got the ability at this stage to do that. But there is still time. We don't know what might happen between now and then, but I doubt that's going to change. So we're not sure how the video tracking is going to go. Now, they are saying there's going to be AI involved in that sensor, but we'll have to wait and see. Lenses, I don't think are going to be an issue, because they have got this amazing thing with teaming up with Leica, Lumix, and obviously Sigma, so they've covered all bases there as well. So I think overall it's a pretty exciting camera. You've got the dual card slots, QXD and the SD card slot. You've got the high megapixel camera, and then the other camera, which is the hybrid camera. So I think overall, let's give Panasonic the benefit of the doubt, and I think at this stage it looks like it's going to be quite an exciting release, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens from this point of view. So let me know in the comment box down below what you think about this. I'd love to know your thoughts about it all, and I'll see you all soon for the next video. Bye for now.